Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Startup Talks. Today we flip the table, we play the investor, and we walk through what a VC actually asks a founder on that first call. Here's the answer up front, because a first VC call really comes down to three questions. Why this, why now, and why you?
And those three get disguised in different forms depending on the fund. But underneath, it's always the same three.
Everything else, market size, traction, the size of the round, it all folds into the answers to those three. They're the load-bearing ones.
Because the investor isn't grading your slides. They're deciding two things. Is the market big enough to be worth backing? And are you the person who can pull it off?
And a big number with weak reasoning loses the room instantly. A smaller number with sharp concrete logic wins it.
Right? Why now has to be a real shift in the world, not a buzzword, an actual moment in time.
So let's set the scene. You're the founder, you just sat down across from us. You've got about 30 minutes, 15 for your story, 15 for our questions.
And before I ask anything, I have to know what kind of investor I even am. An angel, a unicorn hunting VC, or just someone with money from another industry who got bored?
That's a great distinction. Those three ask completely different questions.
For today, let's say we're the unicorn hunters, we are chasing global scale, and by the end of the call, we want one clear verdict, match or no match.
So we're looking for big growth potential, some early evidence of market fit, and a bit of traction. A first hypothesis that already got validated.
Which means our questions cluster around the problem, the solution, how the problem was validated, and the first signs you can solve it for money.
Let's take a small step back to structure. The first 60 seconds belong to the founder. I want one sentence, what you do and what value you create.
And the silent test on my side is simple. If I can repeat your idea, back in my own words, you explained it well enough.
Exactly. If I walk away unsure whether I even understood it, that's already a bad sign.
So, that opening minute is the whole job of the value proposition. Make it so clean I can play it back to you.
Then we unfold it. The next one is, why now? Why does this work today and not 3 years ago?
Underneath, that's a question about a time-defined advantage. Most would-be unicorns either missed the window or showed up too early.
The good answer shows you spotted a real shift, and you know how to grab scale from it before anyone else gets there.
A window where the tech just appeared, the market isn't taken yet, and grabbing it now builds a moat out of timing and scale.
What I do not want to hear is that you're chasing a trend. As the investor, that's an instant flag.
Take cheaper AI inference. On its own, that is not a why now. If you say big new models simplify reasoning in our field, so we are launching, that's weak.
Because AI is just leverage that lets you move faster. The obvious follow-up is, why didn't you do this earlier, back when it took human experts?
The strong version sounds more like, we've been in this industry 10 years and it has finally matured for us to fire. Doubts.
Not, I found a keyword trending on Google Trends for 2 weeks. It's about already being on the ground with a head start. Before that, let's hit the one founders always brace for. How big is this story really? What do you think?
Honestly, this is the easiest, most basic question. The numbers are easy to inflate, so mostly it tests whether you think globally or you're stuck on a local market.
Like a little gallery on Malta selling one local artist's mountain paintings to tourists, inherently unscalable, not what a unicorn hunter is looking for.
I heard a good one recently. A California startup doing group dating. You don't meet one-on-one, you meet in groups. Each side brings 2 friends.
4 to 6 people. Minimum 4. The whole point was to make a first meeting feel safer and more relaxed.
They ran all-inclusive restaurant dinners. You paid a deposit, named who you were bringing, and it invited the friends. Clever dynamic.
But it was deeply local, local venues, local meetups, no global scale possible, so as a venture target, it's a no.
And one more thing I want in that answer beyond ambition: a concretely defined customer and a real sense of how many of them exist.
Because that's what sets the actual scale. And when I listen to that answer, I also hear whether you truly understand your market.
Right. Is the estimate hand wavy and global in the abstract, or does it come from real knowledge of a market you've actually worked in?
Now, the one we keep circling. Why you? Why are you the person who builds this?
Because startups rarely scale to unicorn on the original idea. They get there after several pilots and pivots, so the founder's personality and competence drive the outcome.
And good VCs lean on competence, not which university, but the concrete skills that unlock building this exact thing.
I picture the value chain and break it into competencies. Sales, the specific technical domain, the specific industry. Then I check, founder by founder, who covers each one.
So the answer has to be structured and unemotional. We believe our culture will carry us is not it.
And technical is broad. If you need legal, logistics, or HR competence, that has to be represented too, ideally backed by real experience or a shipped product.
Here's a litmus test I love for founder market fit. I put myself in the shoes of a job applicant.
And the question is brutal. Is your story so convincing that if I were job hunting, I'd come work at your startup?
If yes, I'm hearing real competence, real market understanding, and the sense that you can carry the story.
There's a second factor too: energy. Do you have it? Are you willing to quit your job? How motivated are you really?
A founder clearly running from something, burned out, looking to be saved, that's a red flag no investor wants.
The thesis I keep hearing is that founders no longer compete on competence. Since AI is closing that gap, they compete on energy.
Because the founder has to be the main engine. Your energy has to power the whole company.
The maximum case is a biotech founder building a treatment for a disease that's hitting a close relative. That's skin in the game.
And the weak case is, I want to do a startup, we build websites with AI. Generic, low conviction. Last big one, and it's often the closer. Can this actually make money? Is it a real business?
The key word is traction. Founders get stuck building a product that isn't grounded in reality, and the best validation is money.
Right. If you can't pull even a tiny payment out of it, the value is probably near zero.
If your audience can't pay, it's probably not producing value for anyone. So get monetary proof early, even $1 in the first month, then build a track record from there.
And here's where the AI lens fits. AI has lowered the barrier to entry and the cost of building like never before.
Which actually raises the bar on traction. Any LLM can take your one-pager and spin up a landing page, even a prototype that imitates the real thing.
So now every founder is expected to show a working prototype and traction validated on that prototype. Registrations, clients, ideally a first real order.
Vibe coding, a mockup is the minimum now. The competition has moved closer to execution.
So wrapping the money question, I want traction, a plausible path to profit you can describe, and an appropriate ask given your revenue.
On the ask, there's a working rule of thumb. A startup raises roughly 10 months of revenue as a minimum, but that's a Series A thing, a company already on the market.
Not angel investment. Once you're already earning, that proves you can make money, and the figure becomes a starting point for the round.
And a nuance, that number isn't your company's valuation. It's how much the investor is willing to put in. Your valuation might be much higher.
So let's recap the spine. At the start, we set 3 load-bearing questions. Why this? The problem. Why now? The timing. And why you? Founder market fit.
Then we covered market size, the concrete shift version of why now, founder market fit, and traction that already exists, at minimum vibe coded.
Plus the numbers and investor probes. Mostly how you drive toward profit. Rehearse those three in one breath each before the call.
Because the whole call is just us stress testing those three, nothing more.
That's all for today. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode of Startup Talks.